Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, a new feature that Meta just launched is its ability to push delivery to a certain ad within an ad set. So I'm going to dive into that change, what it means for you, and how I'm incorporating it for my businesses that I work with and my clients that I serve, and what I would recommend for you guys moving forward. So let's dive into it. The problem that I see often in so many ad accounts is that you have new creative, but your creative is getting starved, right? Your new ads are getting starved. And the reason why this happens is Meta makes its decisions off data. And when Meta has a proven ad in an ad set in a campaign, it'll typically spend around 80 to 90% of the budget on the best performing ad. And the reason why Meta does this is because it is optimizing for the conversion event that you give it. And it's very good at doing that. And once it has enough data to conclusively say this ad is outperforming the others, it will allocate majority of the budget to that one ad. Makes sense, right? The problem with this is if you have a high degree of confidence in an ad and you want to put it in an ad set and you want it to get spend, we all know that Meta often does not give that ad spend. And so your new hook, your new seasonal angle, your new creative never gets a shot under this model. Now you could, and this is what I would do in the past, depending on your budget. Again, Meta wants 50 conversions per week per ad set, so you want to make sure you're optimizing within the constraints of your specific situation. But historically, you could create a separate campaign, right? Or you could ABO test to force spend to a creative. But now with this change, Meta is allowing advertisers to stick within an ad set that's already out of learning and force some spend to a specific ad. So, it kind of takes some of the manual hacking, if you will, out of it and gives Meta some rules to go by, and you're trusting Meta's algorithm within the learnings that it already has of that ad set. So you're not creating an entire new audience, you're not creating an entire new campaign, which takes a little bit longer for Meta to learn. So here's why that happens, right? Creative is now the ranking signal. And this is nothing new with Meta's new Android Meta update. And really all that means is Meta's gotten really good at matching creative with the audience, right? So in the past, there was a lot of hacks that you do structurally at the ad set level. And there still is some value in that for smaller brands. But once Meta has enough signal, it reads your creative, it reads your copy, it reads your landing page, right? It knows the conversion rate. It knows, do people like your product? Do people return your product? It knows which brands are authentic, which brands are valuable, which brands are giving customers what they intend when they click the ad. So this is nothing new. Meta, and it's only going to get stronger and stronger, that Meta ranks candidates by its creative signal, not just its audience. So old creatives that have a lot of historical signal for e-commerce brands, for example, if you have an ad that's got hundreds of purchases within your target ROAS goal or your target CPA goal, Meta is going to favor spend to that, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I want to be clear on that. Meta is saying, hey, this is working. It's going to keep allocating spend to that. So no need to reinvent the wheel, but the name of the game on Meta is to always be introducing new angles and creative, right? So it's important to be strategic with that. And at higher levels of spend, a little bit of percent of increase in efficiency, primarily through strategy, can make a big difference in an ad account. So similar creatives get grouped. In the past, you could have an ad with a headline, say it's a picture of a shoe, right? And you just change the headline. That used to be, a couple years ago, that was two separate ads in Meta's eyes. Today, Meta reads that as the same ad. Why? Because it's a similar creative. And so now we have to be very, very strategic with our variants. And the learning phase is expensive. Anytime, as I mentioned, that you create a new campaign, a new ad set, Meta goes back into the learning phase. You need 50 conversions per week per ad set to get out of that. So based on your brand, there's no one size fits all. The bigger the budget, it's actually a lot easier. But if you're a smaller brand and you're launching multiple campaigns and none of them are getting out of learning phase, this could be for you. Again, Meta wants 50 conversions per week per ad set. And if you're an e-commerce brand and you're running at, a $50 CAC, right? Be mindful, the budget required to get out of that is 50 times 50, which is $2,500 per week per ad set just to get out of the learning phase. And oftentimes when I'm auditing ad accounts and especially e-commerce ad accounts, I see all the budget is just spread way too thin and it's not giving Meta enough signal to get out of it. So this change could be extremely valuable if you do want a creative test and you do want to force spend to an ad. So here's the fix. As I mentioned, this is a campaign setting and it's done at the ad level. It's actually done in the actual ad creative box under see more, under more details at the bottom. And if you need help finding this, shoot me a DM. I'll be happy to walk you through it. It's a campaign setting that forces Meta to allocate spend to a specific percent of the ad set budget, regardless of its historical performance. So the practical effect of this is that you can guarantee delivery on a new creative, a launch, or a seasonal ad without pausing your winners, right? Even for some of the bigger ad accounts that I have that are the campaigns are close to out of learning or already out of learning, instead of launching a new campaign, depending on the budget and how many conversions I think I can get per week per ad set, I will sometimes launch an ad that's seasonal into a high performing campaign and push a percent of ad spend to that during the sale, so that Meta already has the learnings. It's already out of learning phase. It knows who to show the ads to. It's just a new offer that I really want to focus on. And guys, as much as this is, this seems like groundbreaking stuff, it's really not. And I still do find that Meta is very good at pushing the right ads to the right people. And the less human interaction you can make and the more strategic decisions you can make in the ad account, pushing the right products, pushing, increasing AOV, increasing conversion rate, right? Those are the real levers in the ad account. Stuff like this might help every now and then, but it's important to always test and let the data show you. But from my experience, it's the strategy part is the most important. And that's what I do with the brands that I work with. And if you're an e-commerce brand that's doing 10 to 30K in Shopify revenue a month and you're struggling to get past that, reach out to me. I'd be happy to sit down with you, walk you through my plan and see if it'd be a good fit to work together. All right, so here's 4 scenarios where the push delivery earns its keep. Number 1 is fresh hero creative. So you have a data-backed reason to believe the new ad will beat what you already have in there. And so a good example of this is if you have an ad account running, you're getting, you're through the learning phase, you have an ad that's taking 80, 90% of the budget of a campaign, but you have an organic post that did really well and it got 5 times the amount of organic views and 4 times the amount of shares and likes that you get on average. And you put that in the campaign and you say you want 20% of the budget going to that. That's a strong data-backed decision where you have some proof of performance and you want to test in the ad account and you're going to guarantee some spend there. So that's one way to use it. Number 2 is a product launch or a seasonal push. Again, if you're a smaller brand and you're still struggling to get out learning phase and you don't have the budget to get 50 conversions per week per ad set for a new product launch or a new seasonal push, then consolidate and allocate a certain amount of spend to this new offer or seasonal push. Number 3 is any brand messaging that you have to run. So a rebrand, any apology, seasonal disclosure, or top of funnel awareness, right? Not always the best performance, but sometimes you want a certain amount of impressions going towards that. And it's part of a holistic, marketing strategy. And then number 4 is structured creative testing. So if you want to force parity budget across variants to actually learn which creative works, again, I personally don't like this. I think the less, like I mentioned, the less human interaction and in trying to beat Meta, like you're trying to beat $1 trillion company that's invested hundreds of billions of dollars into making its AI automation, its Andromeda algorithm as good as it possibly can be. You're trying to beat that as a human. You're just not going to over time. So it's best, I've found, to work with Meta. And again, if you have some data-backed reason why you want to test the ad, say it did really well on TikTok or it did well on organic or YouTube Shorts, whatever, you want to test it on Meta, that makes sense. But other than that, I wouldn't on a daily level. So here's when not to use it. There's 3 ways that I see operators shooting themselves in the foot. Number 1 is pushing a bad creative. If an ad is genuinely worse, push delivery just makes your account-wide CAC worse. So you shouldn't force what doesn't scale. Again, you can test at a small budget, but if it's not performing at a small budget, it's not going to perform at a larger budget. Number 2 is fighting the algorithm forever. Again, this is a tactical override. This is not a fundamental, strong, long-term strategy. You're going against a $1 trillion company that has hundreds of billions of dollars invested in compute, in its algorithm, and it's better than you are as a human, I promise you. Number 3 is using it as a crutch. So if every new ad needs push delivery to get spend, then your creative pipeline is a problem, right? If your ad is not getting spend, typically it's because Meta thinks it's not good enough, right? Now there are some nuances. A lot of accounts have a couple hero ads that are running and taking majority of the budget, and a new ad could potentially be good. And it's really hard to know without full context of each business. Like each ad account, each business is different. There's absolutely no one size fits all, right? And so that's exactly what I do with my clients. I sit down with them, understand the context of everything in the business, and the ad account supplements that, right? There's no one size fits all. There's an order of operations that you can follow and have the best chance of success. But again, there's no one size fits all, and you definitely don't want to use it as a crutch. So here's how to set it up. 6 steps in the ads manager. So I'm just going to fly through this, but this is it's at the ad level. Okay. It's at the ad level, and you can push the toggle on. You can set a certain amount of percent. And if you need help with this, feel free to reach out. I'll show you exactly how to do it. I would set, if I'm testing a new ad and I have an ad set that's working and I don't have the budget to launch a new campaign, I would start the ad at 10% of the budget. And some metrics to watch: CAC, ROAS, CTR, frequency. Okay. These are all high level metrics that are important, right? These are metrics, especially for e-commerce brands, that I look at. I also look at cost per added cart, cost per checkout, click rate, cost per click, leading indicators of performance, not just ROAS and CAC, but there's a lot of different metrics that I look at. I look at 28 different metrics. And if you want my custom dashboard, again, send me a DM on Meta. I'll give you a link to have the exact dashboard that I use for my clients. So here's a recap. Force to spend, prove the creative. Push delivery forces a minimum spend floor on the ad that you choose. This is a brand new feature that Meta just came out with to help advertisers. You can use this on fresh hero creative, product launches, seasonal ads, or structured tests. Do not use it to prop up bad creatives, as this will just make your overall ad account performance worse. And then this is a short-term thing. Give it 2 to 3 days, read your CAC, read your ROAS, read your click rate, your frequency, compare those to account averages, and make decisions on if this is an ad worth keeping or not. So if this helped, please subscribe to this video. I make content like this daily as needed. Meta changes frequently, and it's very important, especially when you spend your money, to stay on top of the latest trends and changes, because every little percent increase that you can apply to that spend overall just puts more money back into your bank account. So that's all I got for today, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know how you implement it in your business. If there's any other videos you'd like me to make, leave them in the comments. I will do that, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.